Hey everybody, this is Perch. I hope everybody had a good holiday, good Christmas, and good chance to take a break with any luck. Not this channel though. Sadly, Mumbles did not get you what you wanted for Christmas, which was the death of this channel. But maybe next year. Keep your fingers crossed. Maybe next year. No, he is not blocked or banned. By the way, some people have asking. No, no, that was just a joke. No, just a joke. Very few people get blocked. Lots and lots of people who post the "Hey, free sex line, call here" get blocked. Absolutely, I absolutely hide those from the channel. The ones that are pure spam. Otherwise, you have to really work at it. I got a note from somebody who figured out finally that his stuff was being, that he'd been removed, and he just flipped out, just angry as all can, as get out. And it's like, dude, I know you. I remember you because like several days went by where you were being a complete prick to everyone. And it was a bunch of the, no, that's not what you think. This is really what you think. That kind of mind reading bullshit. And then a bunch of other kind of, if you're going to come in and just spray a garbage, fucking forget it. Just sorry. It takes a lot. Lots of people come on here, disagree, argue, do all the rest. But if you're just going to make a complete and utter prick out of yourself over and over and over again, then I seriously, there's better things for you to do. That is the problem with social media and YouTube and streams and just kind of in general, because I can always tell, when somebody comes in and goes, "Hey, you sit on the fence. You don't make you don't make a decision either way." That's not true. There's thousands of videos now at this point about me making judgment calls about things. Thousands. Every video has an opinion, has a judgment call. The problem is that people have been narrowed down to two very very fine decisions. Either it's the SJWs are fucking ruining everything, and then every single thing that some of these bigger YouTubers say is absolute gospel, and if you would disagree with them in any way, you're a cuck. Or conversely, it's this kind of jeering, mocking, everything is going great, you're a bunch of incels. We're down to cucks versus incels, which count me out of both of those. I fit neither of those categories. You'll be happy to know Mrs. Perch takes very good care of me. Anyway, but there was in the stream we did, and we're going to do some more streams here really quickly. Joe brought up a point that I need to get him. I want to talk more about it, but I wanted to introduce a topic here to get, because in the vein of saying things that definitely lots of people are going to tell me I'm wrong about. Just like the creators don't really understand why you're angry. I will tell you for a fact, if you talk to a number of creators, a number of writers, not really artists, but writers, they will tell you that the problem with comics, one of the biggest problems with it, is that the comics are way too right wing, way too conservative, way too right leaning. They will tell you this. They are not saying as some kind of deep trick like they actually know, but they're intentionally just saying the opposite just to kind of fuck with you. They're not doing that either. It and for what it's worth, okay, I'll say this before I get into the rest. I do not think comic books are too right leaning. Comic books tend to glorify and go more into alternative niche, both behaviors and lifestyles and situations. They're overly centric around New York and occasionally San Francisco, not even LA. I'm not sure why, but San Francisco, New York is where everything goes on. Whenever the characters travel to someplace other than that, they travel down to Florida, it's clear the writer has no idea what Florida's actually like, because the story just gets bafflingly weird. Suddenly there's just pink flamingos everywhere and like guys in like belly shirts and like, what's your view of Florida? Anyway, but comic books are left leaning. I'm sorry, I don't think that's a big controversial take. I think that's pretty obvious, and I think it's very kind of niche hobby based. That's where a lot of the stories are coming from. That's what I believe. Me, personally, that's what I believe. However, a lot of creators do view comic books as right-wing, and here's why. They view superheroes just in general, as kind of a right-wing power trip fantasy. The idea of putting on a costume and going out and fighting crime is a right-wing idea. It's borderline a fascist idea, and these are things that Alan Moore has said that I think a lot of people have grabbed onto. For several writers, particularly ones in the Portland area, anyway, they really kind of they believe that the entire nature of a superhero comic, of going out and fighting crime like a policeman would, is by its very nature a conservative right wing ideology. The Punisher is super right wing. He's that even further. But characters like Captain America, Superman, Batman, it's why, you've seen these takes around, if Bruce Wayne just took his millions and billions of dollars and actually, just opened up, rehabilitation centers and treatment and social programs, then, that would be far more effective than going out and fighting crime. And, that's a stupid take. I've actually done an entire video on that. It's a dumb take. Um, it's dumb for a ton of reasons, but one of the most obvious is, hey, stop pretending for a moment that this is real life. It's a comic book. It's a comic book fantasy for superheroes designed to be, basic entertainment. Doesn't mean the stories can't be good. They should be good. Doesn't mean they can't be well thought out. They should be. But it's a superhero story. You're not, when you go into a rom-com, and it's like, oh, what's Hugh Grant and, what's Hugh Grant and whatever younger woman they've paired him up with? Emma Stone, let's say. Hugh Grant and Emma Stone are in a movie together. They've forgiven him for what was he doing? He picked up a transvestite? Is that what he did? I don't know. Anyway. Um, that was a long time ago. Anyway, Hugh Grant and Emma Stone are a romantic comedy. And, when I go into a Hugh Grant and Emma Stone romantic comedy, I'm really interested in the movie making a profound and poignant statement on the Holocaust and the treatment of, lesbian, Jewish people during World War II. That's what I'm looking for in that movie. Like, what? No, that's a stupid, insane comment. So when you're talking about superhero comics, you're not, nobody's showing up, picking up that comic and going, you know what I really want to learn? I want to get an in-depth, long story about the fairness and biases of STEM programs in middle America. No, we want to see the superhero get into the costume, have some kind of dramatic fight, and then, hopefully save the day. That's why you pick up the book, because it's a superhero book. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But regardless, a vast number of creators, a lot of writers do view comic books under this lens. The comic books are, and by the way, it's somewhere from pretty balanced to heavily right wing. That's where comics are. And so when you get writers coming in going, you know what, I'm going to do 2 issues, 3 issues of New Mutants where, the main character is trans and the trans character has a trans partner and a flying turtle. And we're going to make it about love and trans people doing crime. The entire story will be called "Be Gay, Do Crime," except they're not gay. They're whatever. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that because that's the kind of stuff we need to do in order to balance out all this right wing propaganda that is typically found in comics. I was in a comic shop with a writer who was down in Portland, and the writers and his wife. I'm giving so many details now. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, the writer and his wife. The writer was a writer at the time. The wife became a writer later, and actually surpassed that writer's career in some ways. But neither is really doing anything now after they went all in on Hollywood. But take a guess who I'm talking about. Anyway, we're in Portland and we're in a comic book shop, and the guy's like, right wing fantasy, right wing fantasy. He's like pointing at the things, and it's like these are all right wing fantasies. The Flash, Green Lantern's a space police book. My God, total fascist right wing book. The Flash. I mean, he's running around in a red costume. What do you think? Captain America. Need I say more? Spider-Man. Even though the police, even though he sometimes has to run from the police, he's still friends with the police. So therefore, he's a Republican. I mean, just kind of going down the line. I had a conversation at a con with a creator about that DC Choices book, where the DC heroes all had to pick whether they're Republican or Democrat, which was insane. And the I remember talking to this creator. It's like, well, the joke about that book is that any of the comic characters would pick Democrats, other than like maybe Green Arrow. All the rest of them are like hardcore Republican. And it's this isn't a, this is many conversations. And you heard Joe mention on the live stream. This is how people think. This is how the creators often think. And so that when they bring left wing ideas into the comic books, they don't think about it as a left wing agenda. They think about balancing the scales. At least that's what they tell themselves. So I there's a lot of goofiness behind this entire concept. But just as kind of a, hey, just psst, here's something's going on, you know. By all means, I defy you, as one of you, to do the hot take video of like, Perch is being lied to. Oh no, fuck you, fuck off. We all had our Christmas. Let's turn a better spirit in the new year. Fuck off with that shit. This is how people think. If you talk to them, this is what they will say. Is it insane? Absolutely it is. That's not what I said. I did not say it wasn't insane. I didn't say it wasn't bafflingly wrong. I'm just saying it is. Dark side is, and so is this. Anyway, what do you think? Does this surprise you? Do you want to take a moment, kind of pause, think about it for a little bit? If you start thinking about some of these things, it starts to answer a lot of questions that I know people have. Because there's this, I do see, you get into these live streams, you see people babble for like 4 hours, and then in the chat, everybody's confused, like, I don't know, it must be because everybody's a sinister, evil person plotting. It's like, or maybe people have a bafflingly strange and different point of view that, granted, seems to have no basis in reality, but understanding that that's where they're coming from, it may help you sleep better at night. It's not going to help the person who thinks they sleep better at night or write better comics, but you may sleep better at night. Or, like me, you go to sleep with a nice glass of whiskey and everything works out. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for listening.